All right, this is my review for After the Hunt. Oh boy, I loved it. I love this movie. I love this movie, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I understand if someone says they hate this movie because this movie does have pacing issues. I will admit. In the middle, it does drag like for like not it doesn't drag too much, but there's a couple scenes that's in certain places where I guess they want you to feel the character more. They want you to see the character laying on a couch a little bit longer than they should. And there's enough of those scenes where it can bog down the movie. It gives atmosphere to the movie, but they do a little bit too much in certain elements, and I do understand why some people may not like this film. But I was so engrossed in the story and the antics of what's going on at this school that I didn't care. I was in it. I was in this film. And Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is amazing. Yo, I love Andrew Garfield. When I watched this movie just now, I'm like, yeah, he's a great actor. He might be one of my favorite actors working today. Like, he is. He is. Like growing up, it was always like Leonardo DiCaprio and of course Johnny Depp. Those I grew up watching Pirates of the Caribbean and all these other different movies, and like Johnny Depp is always gonna be my favorite regardless, no matter what happens. Jim Carrey is great too, but Johnny Depp is just like he's just solidified in my mind. It's just like I can't. I love him. Edward Scissorhands. Like, come on, there's so much things. Jim Carrey too. It's like so much things. The Mask. Like, so much movies. Um, but yeah. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, Andrew Garfield is amazing. He deserves the Oscar every movie he's in. Like, come on. Like, he's just great. He doesn't even need an Oscar. He is the Oscar. Um, I'm going in, but I just when I watch this film, I realize that even if people don't like it because of the subject matter or whatever, I can watch him watch paint dry, and I'm like, this is great. But what I will say is this: Ayo Edebiri or Ayo Edebiri. I've never seen her in anything else, and I have to see her in something else because at this point, I don't like her. You know why? Because she did so great in her role. She did so good at playing the victim that I don't want to see her. Like, I need to watch her in something else because all I have is this image of this narcissistic type of person in my mind, and I need to watch something else. She did that so good in that role. And I like it because it asks you a question. It doesn't show you what happened, but it says, who do you believe? Who do you believe? I don't believe her. I don't. Okay? All right. Someone's like, oh no, he doesn't believe her. He's a man or whatever. Okay. I like that the movie it asks the question. It doesn't show you the answer, but also it shows you something at the end that makes you kind of flip and switch. So it kind of makes me question if I do think she's lying or not. So I'm not gonna spoil what that is, but they do something with Andrew Garfield's character towards the end of the film, and when they do that, and it's aggressive, and they do it, and he's never like that anywhere else. When they show that point, it makes you think: do I believe Miss Ayo Edebiri, or do I believe Andrew? I still believe Andrew. I don't believe her. Um, and I'm gonna tell you why. Every time she's talking to the amazing Julia Roberts, like I mentioned, her performance is amazing. Every time, I'm not explaining anything. I'm just saying, whenever she's talking to her about something that should be important, she doesn't look her in the eyes. She seems like a liar, and she seems like someone who's just such in her victimhood. She's given everything. I like how they really break down her character. Like her parents are billionaires. They give half the school. That's the only reason she's in Yale. You know what I mean? And then she's like trying to play the victim because she's black. It's like, oh my god. So like, I like how they kind of like. I like the kind of character assassination a little bit because the kind of play on it is almost like, okay, just because she's a girl, should you believe her? You know what I mean? Or just because he's the guy, should you believe him? Obviously not. That doesn't happen. But the point is, I like the ways the story makes you kind of pivot. You know what I mean? And there was a point. I'm not gonna lie. There was a point where I did believe her. Was there? No, there was not. But there was a point where I almost thought I believed her. But then she kept showing her face. She kept showing like this two-faced, vengeful. Not that someone can be vengeful if they're assaulted, but the point is she has like this vindictive quality and energy about her. And that's why I said the actress is so great. I have to watch something else because I need to watch that out. Um, she has like this vindictive energy to her, and it's just like a negative pulsating energy. Even when I watch on screen, I'm like, I could feel that she doesn't have the vibe. She just comes up as stuck up and like she's giving everything and like ugh, like she wants to be right about everything and be so sanctimonious and righteous. Like it doesn't make you want to believe her. So that doesn't help either. But I like how they do that because when she does something in the beginning of the movie that I think makes me never what I was never gonna believe her after this choice. And I don't think it has anything to do with her being a woman. I think it has everything to do with her actions. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because in the very beginning of the movie, I'm not gonna spoil anything. All I'm saying is the very beginning of the movie, she does something. And I was in the movie theater alone. There wasn't people in there. I was in there alone and I said, what are you doing? And it was it was a moment of privacy. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a moment of privacy that is that, and I didn't even know what it was. Now that at the end of the movie, I found out what it actually was that she was looking at. But there's something in the beginning of the movie where I already see. I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in her shoes. I'm like, if I went into this room and I saw this the way it was set up, would I take it and would I go through it? No, that's not your stuff, bro. Like privacy, like there's morals. There's a moral quandary in that scene. And when she went past it, it's like now that I can reflect on the movie, I think I was never gonna believe she was trustworthy after seeing her do that. Because a it was such a kind of like a mistrust. And then when she does even something even further, something is revealed later on that she even took something, is what I'll say. And that's even further. Just even looking. I mean, you go. I'm not gonna say this. If something is taped up, I'm trying not to spoil anything. All I'm saying is, if something is taped up, and you find it, and it's in someone you respect's house, you don't open it up. I know I'm basically spoiling something, but it's almost says you don't open it up. And when I saw that, I was in the theater like, "What are you doing?" I kept saying, "What are you doing?" And I think even after that point, I don't think I was never gonna believe anything she says. Now that I'm reflecting, I realize it was a lot more than me just like feeling like she's being a victim. But yes, so that's why I'm on. And then also she says the way she talks to people is very manipulative. The way she says certain things, it's like she wants you to say something so she could be sanctimonious. It's like there's a lot of reasons why I feel like her character is just like I don't believe anything. Other than that, I'm gonna say Julia Roberts was great. Andrew Garfield was great. I love that we got to see Andrew break. We got to see Andrew break. I thought that they were gonna play super safe and never show Andrew break under these conditions of being accused of sexual harassment and stuff like that. And he breaks, and it's honest and true and realistic. And I love that they went there because it wasn't just like in a room where no one's there. It was public, and I like that. So I like that they did that. The only thing I don't like is, all I'll say is this, not spoiling anything, I'm just saying there's something that they do towards the end of the film where you get to see stuff, let's just say a while apart from the way it ends. And when they do that, they show Aya Berry and Julia Roberts' character. I understand that they kind of thought that was a cute like tag on to the end of the film, but I don't really. It's not that I didn't like it. I just think it needs to be even. If they're gonna show those two people apart after the time that they show, I want to see Andrew. Where is my boy Andrew? Because all I'm thinking is he jumped in the river. That's what I'm thinking. He talked about it. He's ready to so distraught. I'm thinking he jumped in the river. Like, show my boy Andrew. Or if he did jump in the river, show the gravesite. Show the tombstone. Like, if you're gonna do that, make it even. Show us Andrew too. Because you already made me not like Ayo. And I bring whatever. But Julia Roberts is great. She's so great in this film. The only thing I didn't like that irked me a little bit. I'm kind of used to it by now. And it's so sad that I have to say that, but I'm so used to the whack husband trope over so many movies, so many times. Like there's no good husbands, like there's no masculine freaking men and just life. So I'm used to the trope of just like a wet freaking mop of a husband, just seeing it in horror movies, seeing it everywhere. And it's refreshing when you see a man like actually be a man. And this guy, he is a man. You know, he is he you know he has some great qualities about him, but the way he is dealt with by Julia Roberts is just so like she's cheating on him, all these different things. Like she's like in his face, like touching this guy's knee, her best friend's knee in front of him. Like it's clearly showing that so much affection that he doesn't get, and he's watching his wife give it freely while they're at a dinner meeting or a cocktail party, whatever. Like I understand what the movie's trying to do, but it's like there's better ways to do it. And also, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make someone a wet mop like that, you gotta give some type of payoff. Give something rewarding for making us go through that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real reward for him. Not really. There's a point where I thought he was gonna divorce her, but he doesn't. He just like he. The thing I like about him is that he's great personality. He does have his little comebacks with his wife, which is cool. He has this we got to talk about the passive aggressive walk through the door. I'm not spoiling much. I'm just saying there's a point where he walks through a door, and all I'm gonna say is that there's music playing. I love that scene because it's so passive aggressive for him, but I love it because it's like you see that there's stuff bubbling under him. Like he doesn't break, but the point is at that he just went through where he was basically just asking Ado Berry some questions about her paper she's writing, and she can't really even have a real conversation because she feels so attacked by her ideas because some of them are false, is what I would say, is what I think. It's not proven, but what I'll say is I think some of the ideas she's presenting is false, which is why she feels threatened when someone asks her, what are you writing about? When she's a college student, she should be able to have a real conversation with someone about philosophy and not feel attacked. You know, so she just very brittle. But that's why I like that they I love that Julia Roberts. There's so much movie stuff I could talk about this movie. I don't want to make this too long, but I probably will because I really there's a lot to talk about with this movie. But let's just go back to the husband. I love this passive aggressive moment because he just kind of like went through this thing where he couldn't even ask people questions about their things, and Julia Roberts make him feel like what's going on. And at the same time, Julia Roberts doesn't even tell her husband and talk to him that she already knows what's going on about the allegations with her quote unquote best friend and stuff like that. So like there's a lot of reasons the husband's left out. So he's feeling a lot of these things. You know, the energy is real. So he's playing music super loud, is what I'll say. Music is playing super loud in another room. He's walking in and out of the kitchen while Julia Roberts and AO are trying to have a conversation. And when he opens the door, every time he walks through the door, he has a door that just swings open. You know, it closes and it swings open. But when it closes, there's no sound pretty much. It's like very faint. But the music is very loud. And when he walks in and out of the kitchen and the door swinging and open and closed, and he's getting his food and stuff, he's doing it like in such a like petty fashion. I love that scene because it's a great scene on like it's a great way to have a story told because they're trying to tell a story and then out of nowhere this big music is coming in because he's opening the door, but then also he's coming in with this energy of that pettiness, and he's like going in between the table and getting his snacks and stuff, and it's just like there's a man in there somewhere. He's just he's just locked in there. He's trying to get out, but he's in this relationship where he's giving more than he should. And it's interesting. There's a point where Julia Roberts even says, and that's what I like. I like his character. They do make him a wet mop, but he shines through. He really shines through. There's a point where Julia Roberts goes, "You're too good to me," and he goes, "No one is contesting that." I laughed. I was like, I love it. I just love it. I just love that part. And just a quick short story. I won't make it long. When I was in high school, I remember my girlfriend at the time. She used to always say, she's like, "Oh, I'm so good. You're too good to me," or whatever. You're too good to me. And then this cute girl who was trying to get with me at the time, she's in class and she's like, "Oh, you're too good for her." And then I told my girlfriend that she's like she's like that H word or whatever that she's like that hoe. And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" she's like, I'm like, "What are you talking about? You say that all the time." She's like, "Yeah, I could say that. I could say you're too good for me, but she can't." You know what I mean? So it's like I like that comeback by the husband because the husband is not trying to go tit for tat for his wife, but he's just like, he says, "No one's contesting that. No one," he said, "No one's contesting that, honey. Like, I love it. He's like, yeah, I know I'm good. I know I'm good. So there's lots of love in this movie, but like I said, it does slog a little bit in the middle with the pacing. Um, Other than that, like I said, Andrew Garfield's great. What else can I say? I love when, like I said, I love when some of these characters break. Julia Roberts breaks a little bit when she has, not a little bit, she breaks a lot when she has a philosophy class, and the student is just, she is trying to, mm, she's really trying. Oh yeah, another reason I don't believe Eddie better Ray, because she slapped my girl Julia Roberts. Oh boy, I just spoiled something. I try not to spoil anything in my reviews, and I did. But I'm gonna leave it in. I'm gonna leave it in because I don't think that's too crazy. I don't think that's too crazy, and I think a lot of people are not watching this film, so I'm just gonna put that in here for the people who are watching that film. Ayo Edebiri gets a strike on Julia Roberts' face, is what I would say. And when she did that, I feel like she showed her colors as far as she felt so attacked by a lot of things she was saying, but also if you're speaking your truth and you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't feel like you have to prove anything, even by lashing out in that way. That was interesting. And I like how when her partner came together, she said, "What did she say to you? Not what did you do?" Like she did nothing wrong. It's like she just the words hurt, huh? But words hurt. I just golly. I just like that Julia Roberts, when she breaks and she's in her philosophy class, she's giving it to this girl, like going in on her, and she's like, "Yo, like, what do you want to make the world? A round patty cake where you're in a bathtub or whatever, and like you just this." She's basically saying like, you want the world to have no differences, so you could feel safe. And the way she breaks that down is just like so amazing. It's just like, because that's how some people are. But the movie doesn't make you choose sides. It just shows you parts of the world and how people talk, and how some people are such victim, how so much stuff is victimized, and like I just like it gives you different sides. You know, they could have went more on the other side, but I like it was brave that they really went more in the kind of offense of it, of looking at it like, maybe there is something to say about trying to make everyone get a participation trophy. You know what I mean? I like the way it was framed. But I'm not gonna. I know made this review is so long. I went crazy with it, but I guess that shows how much I enjoyed this film. So if I had to give this out of 5 stars, I would give this, after talking about it, after talking about this film, I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 stars. Originally, I was thinking 3, but this review is almost 20 minutes. This movie affected me. That's what that means. This movie engaged my brain, and it made me. I had anxiety watching it at some points. I'm like, what is gonna happen? Even though it's slowed down, it has a lot of slowness in the middle, which could have made it higher. But I think that 4 is a smooth 4 right there, or a 3.5. But for me, I really feel like it's a 4. I wish I had a little bit more Andrew in it, but I could forgive it. Julia Roberts killed it with this role. Check it out if you like. This has been my review for After the Hunt. This is Deja Notre Dame. Take care, spread love and light, and let's sign off together.